Let's switch gears to today's mental health check. More Americans have been turning to popular weight loss drugs. We've talked about it a lot, GLP-1s, for years now.
And as those medications become more popular, there are questions about how they're shifting conversations around body image and acceptance. Joining us now is licensed psychologist Rachel Goldman. She's also the author of When Life Happens, the mindset shift you need to manage stress, build confidence, and break free, which is available now for pre-order. Rachel, congrats on the book. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
And I'd love to start on the narrative shift, because a long time we were talking about body positivity, right? Embracing how you look, viewing it as a good thing. But these days, it seems that term is falling short. Why?
Yeah, so these medications are truly life-changing for some individuals. The individuals who they're really indicated for, maybe if you have obesity or diabetes, two chronic illnesses. And the difference, though, is that more people are actually getting their hands on it that maybe these medications weren't indicated for. So now we are seeing a shift in terms of what we are seeing body-wise. You know, some are calling it shrinking bodies. And I think that is really starting to question what is going on and the narrative that we're hearing, right? Are our bodies good enough the way that they are, or do we have to change?
Well, and there's this other term that has become more popular, which is body neutrality. Explain for folks who don't know, what is that? How is that looking at things?
Yeah, and I love that this term is becoming more popular because I've been using it for years. So body positivity is really focusing on the appearance. It's very appearance-focused, outward appearance-focused. Body neutrality is taking the focus off of the appearance and looking at what our bodies do for us, the function of our bodies. So instead of like, I love my body and all of it right now, the body neutrality idea would be, I love my arms because they allow me to hug my children. I love my legs because they allowed me to walk here today. So it's really appreciating our bodies for its function, not what it looks like.
And how, you touched on it, but how are GLP-1s in some ways maybe reinforcing some old stigmas that culturally, societally, we had around body image?
Yeah, so I think it all comes back to the language we're using. If we're calling these medications weight loss drugs, then that's going to feed into that stigma, and it puts the focus back on weight. But these are medications that are indicated for chronic illnesses, just like a hypertensive medication, right? We're calling it a hypertensive medication because it's treating an illness. So if we're calling them GLP-1 medications, it's back to treating the illness, and it puts the focus back on health. So we're taking the focus then away from the body shape and size.
Yeah. Can you give us some advice on language and what we could be saying to be more sort of body neutral, I guess?
Yeah. So same thing, right? Let's take the focus off of our bodies and the shape and size. So if we're complimenting somebody, instead of saying something like, if you think it might be a positive, like, oh, you look great, you look like you've lost weight, maybe instead say, oh, you look like you're glowing, what's going on? Right? Or saying like, wow, to children. You could say something like, wow, you're really strong, or you look really strong. Again, taking that focus away from the actual appearance related to body shape and size.
And there's also a question of whether or not we should be commenting on bodies at all, right? Like, I want to acknowledge that part that's in the room as well. Yeah, what do you recommend there? But also if you're maybe on the receiving end of a comment that doesn't land as well for you.
Right, so because we never know what anybody is going through, I actually say don't comment on body shape and size. You don't know if somebody's struggling with illness, trying to gain weight, lose weight. We just don't know. We could be also feeding into or giving positive reinforcement for a harmful behavior.
Right.
So it's best not to. But so what I like to say, though, for people to be prepared for those comments is to think ahead of time of some scripts. If somebody were to maybe make a comment, think about what would feel good to you. Being prepared takes that anxiety and the overwhelming feeling out of the equation for when it happens. So you could simply say something like, thank you, and just move on. Like, don't pay attention to it. Or you could say, if you want to, you know, I don't really like body comments, right? Or we don't talk about our bodies in that way. So really, it depends on your comfort level.
Yeah, it's hard in the situation, though.
So hard.
Rachel Goldman, thank you so much. Great conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.